Alex lived on the edge of the colony station, in a quiet corner of the outer rim of the Milky Way. Unlike the bustling central stations, where people hurried through gleaming corridors and AI assistants guided every step, Alex's home was simple and lived in. Tools hung on the walls, workbenches were cluttered with mechanical parts, and soft hums from energy cells and small repair bots filled the air. To most people, it looked messy, but to Alex, it was perfect. Every piece of equipment had a purpose, and every tool was familiar. He had spent years repairing ships, hovercars, and machines for the station. No alien or human technology was too complicated for his hands, and his reputation spread quietly through the fringes. People trusted Alex because he could make the impossible possible, and he never asked for much in return. That morning, Alex was sipping his breakfast tea, staring at the soft light filtering through the reinforced windows of his home, when a sudden knock echoed through his workshop. It wasn't a loud or urgent knock, just a polite, insistent tap. Alex frowned. Visitors were rare. Almost everyone preferred automated repair stations, and personal visits to his home were unusual. Curious, he wiped his hands on a cloth and walked to the door. Outside, a woman stood next to a strange-looking hovercar. Its design was sleek, more advanced than most standard models on the station. Light shimmered on its body in subtle patterns, almost like the surface of a calm pond reflecting the sunlight. The car's panels had scratches, and one of the small energy thrusters at the back flickered weakly. The woman looked tired but alert. Her dark hair was pulled into a practical braid, and her uniform suggested she was part of a frontier patrol team. She had a small badge on her chest that glinted in the light. "Hello," she said, her voice calm but edged with urgency. "I'm Celine. My hovercar. It's damaged. I need help." Alex studied her for a moment. There was something different about her. Not just her uniform or her car. He could see focus in her eyes. A sharp intelligence behind a calm exterior. Humans were often predictable, but Celine gave an impression of someone who had faced many challenges and survived. "I'm Alex," he replied. "Come in. I'll take a look." Celine hesitated for a moment, then nodded and stepped inside. The hovercar's energy field pulsed softly, as if sensing the new environment. Alex followed her to the workbench where he usually examined machines. "Show me the damage," he said. Celine crouched by the hovercar, pressing a few buttons on its control panel. The lights dimmed, and a holographic display projected a three-dimensional image of the car's internal systems. Panels of energy conduits, micro-reactors, and thruster arrays appeared, some flickering erratically. "I think the primary thruster was damaged when I landed," she said. "But there's something odd about the energy distribution. It's unlike any system I've seen before." Alex leaned closer. His eyes scanned every circuit, every connection. Something about the hovercar felt alive, almost aware. He touched a panel carefully, and the car emitted a soft hum. "This is advanced tech," he murmured. "Maybe not from this sector." "Where did you get it?" Celine shrugged. "It was assigned to me. The mission is sensitive. I can't say more. But I need it operational soon. My schedule doesn't allow delays." Alex nodded slowly. He didn't ask more questions. Sometimes, curiosity was dangerous, and he had learned that the hard way. Instead, he turned his attention to the repair. For hours, he worked, opening panels, reconnecting energy conduits, and testing systems. The hovercar's thruster responded in small, careful pulses as he adjusted the internal circuits. Celine watched him closely, sometimes offering suggestions based on her knowledge of advanced vehicles, sometimes staying silent, fascinated by his method. "What's unusual," Alex said finally, wiping his hands, "is that this technology reacts to intuition. Most AI-driven systems require precise codes. This responds to thought patterns, to adjustments made by hand. That's very human." Celine looked at him, her dark eyes widening slightly. "You mean it understands your actions?" "In a way," Alex replied. "It's like it's learning from the repair. Most machines don't do that. Most would fail without proper coding." She was silent for a long moment, watching him. Then, unexpectedly, she said softly, "I never realized how beautiful your eyes are." Alex blinked. He wasn't used to compliments, and certainly not in the middle of a repair session. His focus wavered for a moment, and he chuckled nervously. "Thanks. I guess that's something humans notice." "Huh?" Celine smiled faintly, a mixture of embarrassment and sincerity. "Yes, humans notice many things that machines cannot. And I think that's why this car seems to respond to you. You touch it like it's alive. Not just circuits and wires." Alex felt a strange warmth. There was something honest and gentle in her words. He returned to the repair, but now with a subtle awareness that someone was truly seeing him not just as a mechanic, but as a human being. By mid-afternoon, the repair was mostly complete. Alex tested the thruster, and the car hovered a few meters off the ground smoothly. Lights pulsed in harmony with the energy flow, and the vehicle seemed content, almost humming softly, as if it recognized Alex's work. "Looks perfect," he said, stepping back. "You should be able to take this for a full test flight now." Celine nodded, her eyes fixed on the hover car. I didn't expect it to work so well." "Thank you, Alex. Truly." "You're welcome," he replied. "Just be careful out there. This tech isn't like anything else in the sector. If someone finds out, they might come looking." Her gaze met his, steady and sincere. "I'll remember. And I'll remember you too." Alex smiled faintly, watching as she climbed into the driver's seat. The hovercar's thrusters flared gently, lifting it into the air. The lights on its panels reflected softly against the walls of his workshop, casting strange patterns that danced like liquid gold. As Celine prepared to leave, Alex felt a strange mix of anticipation and unease. Something told him this encounter was only the beginning. The hovercar lifted smoothly, gliding past the station corridors. Alex watched from his workshop, a sense of pride and wonder filling him. Humans, he realized, had a way of connecting with machines and each other in ways that no AI, no matter how advanced, could ever replicate. And somehow, he knew, the galaxy would notice that human ingenuity, empathy, and courage could shine even in the darkest corners of space. When the hovercar disappeared from view, Alex returned to his workbench. He picked up a small wrench, turning it in his hand. His mind wandered to Celine's words, to her eyes, and to the odd hum of the car. There was something more than repair here, something that felt like destiny. Outside, the station's quiet hum continued. Yet within that calm, something had shifted. A ripple of change had begun, subtle, almost invisible but powerful enough to hint that humans still held a unique place in the universe. Alex looked out at the stars. The edges of the Milky Way stretched endlessly, filled with countless possibilities. And for the first time that day, he felt certain. Being human, curious, inventive, and compassionate was a gift no one, not even the most advanced alien technology, could replicate. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of his workshop. His hands still smelled faintly of lubricant and energy oil from yesterday's repair, and his mind was alive with thoughts of Celine and her mysterious hovercar. He poured himself a cup of tea and glanced at the window, where the edge of the station glimmered against the void of space. Even in the quiet of the station, Alex felt a strange excitement. Something about the hovercar had intrigued him, its technology, its subtle reactions, and most of all, the connection he had felt with Celine. There was a spark in humanity that machines could never imitate, and it had awakened inside him yesterday. A sudden knock interrupted his thoughts. He smiled slightly, already guessing who it might be. Opening the door, he found Celine standing there again, her dark braid tucked neatly behind her shoulder. "I hope I'm not intruding," she said softly. "I wanted to check on the repairs and maybe watch you work. You have a way with machines that I've never seen before." Alex chuckled. "Come in. I don't mind the company. It's nice to have someone who actually watches what I do instead of just giving instructions." She stepped inside, her eyes scanning the workshop with curiosity. Every tool, every panel, every glowing circuit seemed fascinating to her. For the first time, Alex noticed how attentive she was, not just observing, but genuinely understanding. "You really work differently," she said, approaching the hovercar. "Most engineers rely on AI or pre-programmed tools. You feel the machine. You listen to it." Alex shrugged modestly. "Machines are like people. In a way, they respond to care, attention, and understanding. I've learned that forcing them rarely works. You have to adapt, improvise, and sometimes just trust your instincts." Celine smiled faintly. "Instincts? That's very human." Alex nodded, and together they examined the hovercar. He had spent the night running simulations, tweaking minor circuits to ensure the thruster would not fail during flight, but there were still subtle irregularities in the energy conduits. Some panels flickered for a fraction of a second, almost like a heartbeat, and the hovercar's AI emitted soft pulses of energy in response to touch. "This is unusual," Alex muttered. "I've repaired advanced tech before, but it reacts to human touch and intent. Not commands, not codes. It responds to care." Celine leaned closer. "So, it knows the difference between a human and a machine?" "Exactly," Alex replied. "Most systems are binary. On or off, yes or no. This one seems to recognize improvisation, thought, even emotion." Celine's eyes softened. She looked at Alex again, and he felt the same strange warmth from yesterday. "I never realized how much humanity can influence machines," she whispered. Alex smiled, a little embarrassed. "Sometimes, the most advanced technology needs a human touch, more than any algorithm." They worked side by side for hours. Alex guided her hands as she learned to adjust minor circuits, showing her how to sense the machine rather than just command it. She was quick to understand, and Alex was impressed by her ability to adapt. Her curiosity reminded him of why humans had always survived in the galaxy's harshest corners. They were clever, resilient, and endlessly inventive. As they worked, the hovercar hummed softly, responding to their touch. Panels lit up in patterns that seemed almost like applause, and the thruster pulsed in harmony with their movements. Celine leaned back, smiling with satisfaction. "It's like it's alive," she said. Alex nodded. "In a way, it is. Not alive like you or me, but alive enough to feel guidance. And only humans can give it that." The quiet intimacy of their work created a strange, comfortable rhythm. The smell of tools, the hum of energy cells, and the faint scent of Celine's presence combined into a moment of shared understanding. Neither spoke for a while, simply observing, learning, and repairing. Suddenly, an alert flashed on the hovercar's internal monitor. Alex frowned and leaned closer. "That's strange. I wasn't expecting a signal. It's coming from the frontier sector." Celine's eyes widened. "Frontier sector? That's dangerous. What does it say?" Alex studied the readout. The hovercar had intercepted a series of encrypted warnings. Rogue drones, unregistered and aggressive, had been detected near several patrol routes. Their target? Vessels equipped with experimental modifications exactly like this one. "They're looking for this car," Alex said quietly. "And probably for whoever repaired it." Celine's jaw tightened. "I thought I was being careful." "How did they detect it so quickly?" Alex shook his head. "Not everything can be traced. Some threats are just instinctive. These drones are fast, highly adaptive, but they're still machines. And machines have weaknesses." He examined the hovercar again. "See these conduits?" he said, pointing to the flickering lines. "If I reroute the energy just slightly, I can create a defensive field. It won't be perfect, but it'll confuse their sensors enough to give us time." "Grom." Celine's eyes lit up. You can do that? Alex smiled. Humans can always do that. Improvisation, intuition, quick thinking. Machines can't predict it. For the next few hours, Alex worked feverishly. He adjusted circuits, added small feedback loops, and created temporary shields using parts of the hovercar's existing energy system. Celine assisted, following his instructions, her hands steady even under pressure. The defensive system took shape slowly, but steadily. The hovercar hummed louder, its lights pulsing with energy that seemed alive. Alex tested it carefully, watching the monitor for responses. The shield responded exactly as expected, flickering unpredictably enough to confuse automated scans. Celine looked at him, awe in her eyes. This is amazing. You really can think differently from anyone else. This is human ingenuity at its finest. Alex laughed softly. It's just paying attention, observing, understanding, then acting. Anyone could do it with practice. Humans are born to adapt, to survive, to innovate. Machines, they can't replicate that. Celine's gaze met his. There was admiration there, yes, but also something deeper, a recognition that humans, despite all technology, still had something uniquely powerful. Alex, she said softly, almost hesitantly, you make it look effortless, but I can feel the skill, the care, the heart you put into it. I never realized how much humans could influence the universe, simply by being human. Alex's chest warmed at her words. He felt seen, not just for his skill, but for the human spirit behind it. The same spirit that had built colonies, survived rogue stars, and tamed the unknown. Finally, the repairs were complete. The hovercar glowed softly, its circuits pulsing with a quiet life. Alex and Celine stood back, admiring their work. You're ready for a test flight, Alex said. But be careful. These drones are real threats. Don't underestimate them. Celine nodded, her eyes reflecting a mixture of determination and trust. I'll be careful. And I'll remember this. Your ingenuity, your methods, your humanity. Alex watched as she climbed into the hovercar, adjusting her seat and testing the controls. The vehicle lifted smoothly, thrusters glowing, defensive field active, and the hum of energy resonating like a heartbeat. As Celine took off, Alex felt a quiet pride. Not because the hovercar worked, but because humanity, his intuition, creativity, and empathy had made the difference. Machines could be repaired, but only humans could inspire, adapt, and survive. And somewhere in the depths of space, Alex knew, this simple truth would echo further than anyone imagined. The station was quieter than usual that evening, with only the soft hum of energy systems and distant footsteps echoing through the corridors. Alex returned to his workshop after a quick meal, his mind still buzzing from the events of the day. The hovercar he had repaired was out there, carrying Celine through the frontier, and for the first time, he felt a mix of pride and unease. He had worked on many machines, but this one was different. It had responded to human intuition, almost like it could sense care, attention, and purpose. That was rare. Most technology, even the most advanced, required strict codes and routines. But this had a spark of life. A sudden alert on his personal terminal broke his thoughts. The display showed a real-time feed of the outer sectors near the frontier patrol routes. Several unidentified drones were moving quickly, their trajectories calculated and precise. Alex's stomach tightened. They've found it, he muttered to himself. And they're fast. He quickly pulled up the hovercar's status. Energy levels were optimal. Shields functioning. Thrusters responsive, but these drones were relentless. Unlike normal patrol drones, these attackers were highly adaptive, scanning for energy signatures, analyzing movement patterns, and adjusting their attacks in real time. Alex knew that conventional weapons or defenses would not be enough. These machines were designed to hunt experimental tech like Celine's hovercar. But humans had something that AI could never replicate: improvisation. He grabbed a portable repair kit and a few energy modulators from his shelf. "If I can't outrun them, maybe I can outthink them," he said aloud. Meanwhile, Celine was in the outskirts of the frontier sector, the hovercar gliding smoothly through the asteroid belts. Her eyes scanned the sensors constantly, noting subtle anomalies in the readings. The defensive field Alex had built flickered occasionally, but held strong against minor disturbances. Suddenly, a warning flashed. 3 drones emerged from the shadows of a nearby asteroid cluster. Their sleek, dark frames reflecting the faint starlight, they moved quickly, their targeting systems locking onto the hovercar's energy signature. Celine's pulse quickened. She knew she couldn't outfight them directly. She had to rely on Alex's modifications and her own instincts. "Come on, Alex," she muttered into the comlink. "I hope your invention works as well as you promised." Back at the station, Alex monitored her movements. The hovercar's energy signature pulsed in sync with his own calculated adjustments. He manipulated the defensive field remotely, rerouting power through auxiliary conduits. The shields flickered in a complex pattern, confusing the drone's sensors. "They're trying to predict her movement," Alex murmured, "but they can't predict human intuition." Celine swerved the hovercar sharply through a narrow gap between 2 asteroids. The drones followed, but their AI miscalculated the timing of the turns. One drone clipped the asteroid and spun out of control, while another collided with a floating debris field, short-circuiting its systems temporarily. She took a deep breath. "It's working. Alex, it's really working." Alex smiled faintly, despite the tension. "Just keep moving. Don't let them corner you. Humans survive by adapting, not by following patterns." The drones regrouped quickly, faster than Celine expected. Their AI adjusted to her unpredictable maneuvers, trying to anticipate the next move. But Alex had one more trick. He had installed small energy modulators that created temporary false signatures around the hovercar, making it appear in multiple locations at once. "Now," he shouted internally, as if speaking to Celine's mind. She executed a sharp turn, activating the modulators. For a brief moment, the drone's targeting systems locked onto multiple false signals, firing in all directions. Their attacks missed, exploding harmlessly against the asteroid surfaces. Celine laughed aloud, a sound of relief and exhilaration. "Alex, you genius!" "That worked perfectly," Alex chuckled, but his focus never wavered. "It's not just me. It's the human touch. Machines can't predict imagination, intuition, or improvisation. That's why humans survive in places like this." The hovercar weaved through the asteroid field with expert precision. Celine could feel the car responding almost intuitively, as if it understood her thoughts and trusted her instincts. The defensive field shimmered around the vehicle, protecting it from the occasional laser shot that the drones managed to fire. But one drone, larger and more advanced than the others, began to close in. Its AI had adapted to the false signals, analyzing the patterns Alex and Celine had used. It fired a concentrated energy beam directly at the hovercar. Celine's heart raced. "Alex, it's targeting me directly. Reroute all auxiliary power to the shields," Alex shouted into the comm. "And take a sharp right. Trust the car." Celine obeyed, twisting the controls. The hovercar lurched sharply to the right, narrowly avoiding the energy beam. The shield absorbed the impact, flickering under the stress but holding. Alex's mind raced. He analyzed the drone's behavior, predicting its next move based on human intuition rather than algorithms. He adjusted the modulators again, creating a sudden shift in the energy pattern. The large drone miscalculated, firing off target and colliding with a smaller asteroid. Celine breathed heavily, her hands steady on the controls. We're doing it. We're getting away." Alex smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "Not just us. Humanity does this. We adapt. We survive. We innovate. Machines can't do this. They can mimic, but they can't feel, improvise, or care." The hovercar shot through a narrow canyon between two massive asteroids, its thrusters glowing like liquid fire. Celine felt the car responding perfectly to her thoughts, and for a brief moment, she realized something profound. Human ingenuity had breathed life into this machine. It was no longer just technology, it was a partnership. But the drones were relentless. Another wave emerged from the shadows, faster and more coordinated. Celine's pulse quickened, her instincts screaming. Alex's voice, calm and reassuring over the comm, guided her through complex maneuvers. Every twist, turn, and energy pulse was calculated with human intuition, not machine logic. The drones fired repeatedly, but Alex's defensive adjustments and Celine's skillful flying kept the hovercar safe. Panels flickered, shields shimmered, and the hum of energy resonated like a heartbeat through the car. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, Celine reached the edge of the asteroid cluster. The drones hesitated, unable to predict her next move, their AI struggling to adapt to human unpredictability. Celine exhaled, relief washing over her. "Alex, we did it. We made it through." Alex leaned back in his chair at the station, exhausted but exhilarated. Humans survive because we think differently, feel differently, and act differently. Machines can't replicate that. That's why the galaxy needs us, Celine. For a moment, silence fell between them. Then, Celine's voice came, soft and sincere. "I never realized how powerful humanity could be, and how beautiful the human spirit really is." Alex smiled, a quiet pride swelling in his chest. "It's not just about power. It's about connection, care, and creativity. That's what makes us human." The hovercar glided smoothly through open space, shields holding strong, engines humming in harmony. Celine's eyes shone with admiration, not just for Alex's skill, but for the unique human ability to survive and thrive in a universe that often seemed hostile and unforgiving. As she disappeared into the distance, Alex returned to his workshop. He looked around at the tools, the circuits, and the glowing panels, realizing that every repair, every tweak, and every adjustment carried more than technical skill, it carried the essence of humanity. And somewhere in the vastness of space, that essence would continue to shine, guiding humans through danger, mystery, and the unknown. Celine floated through the quiet void, the stars stretching endlessly around her. The hovercar hummed softly beneath her hands, a living rhythm that responded to every thought and instinct. She had managed to escape the rogue drones thanks to Alex's ingenuity. But she knew the danger wasn't gone. There were more threats out there, and she couldn't underestimate them. She glanced at the small comm link embedded in the hovercar's dashboard. Alex's voice came through, calm but filled with focus. "You did well back there," he said. "But these drones are persistent. They'll be back, faster and smarter. We need a plan." Celine nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "I know. But, Alex, I wouldn't have survived without your modifications. Your improvisation saved me." He smiled faintly. "Improvisation is human nature. Machines follow patterns. Humans adapt. That's why we survive." Celine leaned back in her seat, thinking, "We need to combine your ingenuity with my experience in the frontier. Maybe, together, we can turn the tables instead of just running." Alex's mind raced. He pulled up holographic projections of the drone's last attack patterns. "If we study their movements, we can predict their behavior at least partially. Then, we can set traps using the hovercar's energy system." Celine's eyes brightened. "And I can handle navigation and maneuvers while you control the defense systems remotely. We'll use human unpredictability against them." "That's exactly it," Alex said. "We'll make them overthink, miscalculate, and exhaust themselves. Humans have creativity, intuition, and courage. They don't. That's our advantage." Celine smiled, feeling a mix of admiration and something warmer for Alex. "You really make human ingenuity look effortless," she whispered. Alex felt a quiet warmth at her words. It's not effortless. It's instinct, experience, and care. Machines can't feel any of that. Together, they devised a plan. The hover car would act as bait, drawing the drones into narrow asteroid fields where Alex could use energy modulators to create false signals. The drone's AI would overreact, firing blindly and exposing themselves to traps. Celine's skill at piloting would allow her to exploit every opportunity, and Alex's adjustments to the hovercar's systems would keep them both safe. Hours passed as they refined the strategy. Celine practiced sharp maneuvers through holographic simulations, while Alex adjusted the energy modulators, testing each pattern until it mimicked natural human unpredictability. Finally, they were ready. Celine initiated the flight sequence, and the hovercar lifted off smoothly, thrusters glowing in soft waves of energy. Alex monitored from the station, his hands steady on the console, eyes scanning the feeds. Almost immediately, the rogue drones appeared on the sensors, faster and more coordinated than before, but Alex and Celine were ready. "Remember," Alex said calmly, "we don't just survive, we adapt. We think differently. That's our edge." Celine nodded, her hands steady. "Got it." The hovercar darted between asteroids, energy modulators creating false signals that flickered like ghost images around the vehicle. The drones fired repeatedly, their targeting systems confused by the unpredictable patterns. One drone attempted to flank them from the left, but Celine anticipated it, twisting the hovercar sharply. Its sensors locked onto a false signal, and it fired off target, colliding with a smaller asteroid. Alex adjusted the modulator frequencies, causing another drone to misinterpret the hovercar's energy signature. It fired into the wrong trajectory, leaving itself vulnerable to a precise strike from Celine's maneuvers. "You're incredible, Alex," Celine said softly. "I've never seen someone handle machines like this. It's beautiful." Alex felt the familiar warmth again, but he focused on the task. "It's not beauty, it's survival. Humanity's survival depends on intuition, adaptation, and courage, and you're proving it every step of the way." Together, they danced through the asteroid field, combining human skill and ingenuity to outmaneuver the drones. The hovercar responded as if alive, anticipating Celine's instincts and Alex's adjustments. Every movement was a careful balance of strategy and intuition, and the bond between pilot and engineer deepened with every passing second. But then, a new challenge emerged. A larger drone, more heavily armored than the others, appeared at the edge of the asteroid cluster. Its sensors were sharper, its calculations faster, and it moved with a precision that seemed almost perfect. Celine's pulse quickened. "Alex, it's bigger, stronger. I don't think we can handle it the same way." Alex's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll do something different. Humans adapt. We don't fight the same fight twice." He instructed Celine to lure the drone into a narrow canyon where the hovercar's thrusters could create sudden bursts of energy, altering the landscape temporarily. Alex's modulator system projected false energy signatures in multiple directions, forcing the drone to split its attention. Celine executed the maneuver flawlessly, weaving through the canyon, each twist and turn calculated yet unpredictable. The large drone hesitated, analyzing the conflicting signals, and fired its laser cannon blindly. The beams hit the canyon walls, exploding in showers of rock and debris. "Now, Alex!" Celine shouted, twisting the controls sharply. Alex rerouted energy through the hovercar's shields, causing a sudden surge that emitted a pulse of energy outward. The pulse disrupted the drone's sensors, leaving it exposed. Celine seized the opportunity, accelerating through a narrow gap and striking the drone with a controlled impact, sending it tumbling helplessly into the asteroid field. Celine exhaled, her heart pounding. "We did it. We really did it." Alex smiled, relief washing over him. "That's what humans do. We see a challenge. We adapt. We think creatively. And we never give up. Machines can't replicate that." For a moment, silence fell between them, filled only by the hum of the hovercar's energy systems. Then, Celine spoke, her voice soft and sincere. "Alex, I never realized how much humans could survive, and how strong our spirit really is." Alex felt a quiet pride swell in his chest. It's not just strength, it's care, creativity, and courage. That's what makes us human. And that's why the galaxy needs us. Celine's gaze softened, and for a brief moment, she looked at Alex not as a pilot to a mechanic, but as a human to a human. I never realized how beautiful your eyes are, she whispered again, the words carrying more weight now. After shared danger and teamwork, Alex's chest warmed, but he focused on guiding her safely back to open space. The hovercar responded perfectly, gliding smoothly past the asteroid field. Shields holding strong, engines humming in harmony. As they reached safer territory, Celine finally allowed herself to relax. "We make a good team," she said, smiling. "Human ingenuity and instinct together. It's unstoppable." Alex nodded, watching her through the comlink, and that's exactly why humans survive in the toughest corners of the galaxy. We adapt, we care, and we never stop thinking. Machines can try to imitate us, but they'll never replace us. The hovercar glided into the safety of a hidden orbital station, designed for frontier patrols. Celine powered it down carefully, her hands steady but her mind still buzzing with adrenaline. Alex joined her remotely, monitoring the systems to ensure everything remained stable. They sat in a quiet moment, both aware of what they had accomplished. Together, they had turned a dangerous situation into a triumph, relying on human intuition, courage, and creativity. And in that quiet, shared victory, a deeper bond began to form. A recognition of the power of humanity and of each other. "Alex," Celine said finally, her voice gentle. "Thank you. For everything. Not just for the repair, but for showing me what humans can really do." Alex smiled softly. "It's what humans do. And it's what makes us special. Always remember that. No machine, no matter how advanced, can ever replace this." Celine's eyes met his, and for a moment, words weren't needed. The shared experience, the danger, the triumph, they all spoke louder than any sentence could. And in that moment, both understood the truth. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology, ships, or weapons. It was their spirit, their ingenuity, and their courage. As Celine prepared to continue her mission, Alex returned to his workshop, quietly proud. The universe was vast and full of threats, but humans had something unique, a spark that could not be measured or replicated, a spark that could survive even the darkest corners of space. And somewhere in the silence of the station, that spark glowed brighter than ever, ready for the next challenge. The void of space stretched endlessly, a silent canvas of stars and distant worlds. Celine piloted the hovercar carefully, each movement precise yet instinctive. The rogue drones had retreated for now, but she knew they were not gone. Somewhere in the dark reaches of the frontier, more threats might be lurking, waiting to strike. Her comlink hummed softly. Alex's voice came through, steady and calm. "You made it through the asteroid field perfectly," he said. "Now we need to plan the next step. The drones are adaptive, but not perfect. They can be tricked, misled. We just need to think one step ahead." Celine nodded. "I'm ready. But, Alex, I've been thinking. We survived because of more than just the hovercar's shields or your energy modulators. We survived because we worked together. Humans. Humans are more than machines. We're unpredictable, creative, and brave." Alex's chest warmed. "Exactly. That's the key. Machines calculate, predict, and follow rules. Humans, we improvise. We care. We think. And that's what makes us strong. Even in the deadliest corners of space." Celine glanced at the thrusters glowing beneath her hands. The hovercar seemed almost alive, humming with energy and awareness. "It feels alive," she said softly. "Like it understands us, trusts us." "Because it does," Alex replied. "But only because humans created it, repaired it, and guided it with instinct and intuition. That's something no AI could ever replicate. They continued through the outskirts of the frontier, scanning for signs of danger. As they passed a dense cluster of asteroids, a faint energy signature flickered on the sensors. Celine tensed. More drones? Possibly, Alex said, analyzing the data. But remember, we've learned their patterns. And we have something they don't: human unpredictability. A sudden flash illuminated the viewport. 3 drones appeared, smaller than the previous one but coordinated perfectly, firing lasers toward the hovercar. Celine swerved instinctively, the hovercar responding as if it anticipated her thoughts. Energy modulators flickered, projecting false signals that drew the drone's fire away from her path. "They're trying to trap us," Alex said calmly. "Keep moving, and don't follow a pattern. Human instinct will guide you." Celine navigated through a tight corridor of asteroids, weaving and spinning, the drones firing blindly. One drone miscalculated a turn, colliding with a jagged rock and sending a shower of debris into space. Another fired too late, the shot grazing harmlessly past the hovercar. Alex guided her remotely, adjusting the modulator frequencies in real time. Use the false signatures to your advantage. Make them see you in places you aren't. Make them overthink. That's how humans win. Celine followed his instructions, twisting the hovercar sharply. The largest drone, the one they had damaged in the asteroid canyon earlier, reappeared, more cautious this time. Its targeting systems were slower, confused by the energy pulses and patterns Alex had created. Celine's pulse quickened. "Alex, it's back. Bigger and smarter. Then we finish this," Alex said firmly. "We don't just survive, we prevail. Humans survive because we think differently, act courageously, and never stop innovating." Celine's hands were steady on the controls, her mind synchronized with Alex's guidance. The hovercar darted between asteroids, each movement calculated yet unpredictable. The large drone fired repeatedly, but the false signals and energy pulses created by Alex misled it at every turn. "Now, accelerate through the gap on your left," Alex shouted. "The canyon walls will reflect its sensors. Use it." "Well, and in walls?" Celine twisted sharply. Engines roaring. The drone fired blindly, its energy beams striking the canyon walls and exploding in showers of debris. Alex activated the final sequence of modulators, creating a sudden burst of energy that sent a pulse through the void. The large drone shuddered, its systems overwhelmed by the unpredictable signals. Celine seized the opportunity, maneuvering the hovercar with precision and hitting the drone with a controlled impact that sent it spinning into a field of smaller asteroids. Silence followed, broken only by the hum of the hovercar. Celine exhaled, her hands steady but her heart racing. We did it. It's over." Alex smiled faintly, relief and pride filling his chest. "Humans survive because we adapt, innovate, and persevere. That's what sets us apart. No machine, no matter how advanced, can ever replicate this." Celine's gaze softened. "Alex, I never realized how powerful humanity can be. Not just in skill, but in spirit. And how beautiful that spirit is." Alex felt the warmth again, a quiet pride swelling inside him. It's not beauty in the way machines understand. It's the spark of life, courage, creativity, and care. That's what makes humans special. That's why we endure. They drifted in silence for a moment, letting the quiet of space fill the void around them. The danger had passed, but the experience had left a lasting impression. Celine had seen firsthand the strength of human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Alex had seen the effect of connection, trust, and teamwork in the face of danger. Finally, Celine spoke, her voice soft and sincere. "Alex, I never realized how beautiful your eyes are. Not just the color or the way they look, but the way they see, the way they understand, create, and guide. That's something no one could ever teach a machine." Alex's chest warmed, but he smiled quietly. Thank you, Celine. That means more than you know. And it's true. Humans see, feel, and act in ways machines never can. That's why the galaxy will always need us. Celine nodded, a small smile on her lips. I'll remember that, and I'll carry it with me wherever I go. Humanity, our spirit, it's unstoppable. As they approached a hidden frontier station, Celine powered down the hovercar. Its hum softened, lights dimming to a gentle glow. Alex monitored remotely, ensuring all systems were stable. They sat in quiet reflection, both aware of what they had accomplished. Together, they had faced danger, outsmarted relentless machines, and proven that human ingenuity, courage, and creativity could overcome even the most advanced threats. Celine finally looked at Alex through the comlink. I hope one day I can repay you. Not just for the repair, but for showing me what humans can truly do. Alex smiled softly. You don't need to repay me. We did this together. That's the power of humans working together, trusting each other, and thinking differently. That's how we survive. That's how we thrive. Celine's eyes lingered on the display, filled with admiration, respect, and something deeper. I'll never forget this. Or you, Alex. Alex returned the gaze, feeling the quiet pride and hope that had carried him through every challenge. And I won't forget you, Celine. Humanity shines brightest when we face the unknown. Together. The hovercar rested quietly at the frontier station, shields down, systems stable, but alive with a quiet energy that reflected the human touch. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. A reminder that the universe was vast, dangerous, and full of possibilities. Alex returned to his workshop. Quietly proud and contemplative, the universe would continue to test humanity with new threats, new challenges, and new mysteries. But humans had something no machine, no alien, no algorithm could ever replicate: ingenuity, courage, adaptability, and a spirit that could endure anything. And somewhere in the endless expanse of space, that spirit shone brighter than any star, guiding humans through danger, uncertainty, and the unknown. Because no matter how advanced the technology became, no matter how relentless the threat, humanity's greatest power was always itself. And in that quiet, Alex smiled, knowing the galaxy would always need humans curious, inventive, and endlessly courageous.